I think we should go straight into what makes Weaver Weaver.
Okay.
So on the topic of authenticity, because to me, you know, after the fairly brief amount of time that I have known you, you've certainly impacted my life in a lot of different ways, and certainly
good.
when it comes to
good.
Yeah, absolutely
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
But when I think of you, the word authenticity resonates strongly. It feels like there is a sense of you knowing who Weaver is, and everyone knowing who you are as well. And I'd love to understand where that authenticity came from.
I guess from when I was about 13 or 14, I woke up one day and I suddenly thought, I live with my mum and my dad and my two sisters, but I don't really know who they are. They are my brothers and sisters and my mother and father, but I look like them, so that I'm definitely theirs. But actually, I'm not of them. I don't feel like I'm part of them. I feel like I'd started to make. I'm from a very working class family. It doesn't sound like it because I talk quite well. I'm from a very working class family. I grew up on a really rough council estate in 𝗪𝗏𝗁 in Kent, and where everybody drove cars fast and they set light to things, and people got beaten up a lot. And I made quite middle class friends. I used to go to their houses, and their parents actually talked to one another about music and art. And I suddenly thought, I don't know, I used to hang around at my friends' houses because I enjoyed their company listening to. And I suddenly thought, that's the person that I am. And I started going to the library, the local library, and looking in the art section and looking at pictures and thinking, God, that's really beautiful. I wonder how they did that. And then I went out and bought a notebook. And I thought, I'm going to write my way out of my family. I'm going to start writing, and I'm going to write about the world. And I'm going to write about my mother and my father and my two sisters. So I did. I just started jotting things down. And initially they were just like key words, a bit like, Raymond Williams' key words? They were like key words that I thought, this is the way out. This is the journey out of working classness into something else. And the first thing I wrote down was books. Books equals freedom. Books equals a knowledge about the world. So I decided I would work my way through, cover to cover. I'd work my way through Thomas Hardy, everything that he wrote, through Dickens. So all the famous English classic writers. And I think I was saying to you the other day, where is all that stuff now? Those books are in here somewhere, but I can't find them anymore. I appreciate them now with the knowledge that I read them and they inspired me. So I started reading, and I made a point of, I used to write down in longhand quotes from the books that I thought were beautiful. So I've got these endless piles of notebooks with a sentence from Dickens from this, and a sentence from Hardy from that, from Tess of the D'Urbervilles was my favourite. And then I got interested in theatre, in drama. And my drama teacher was, when I was, 12, 13? He wasn't gay, but he was a very effeminate man, a guy called Bob Pratt, who's an unfortunate name. And he was a really, really nice bloke. And the first role I did with him was Romeo from Romeo and Juliet. And I realised that I loved performing. And actually he said, Kevin, Kevin, you're actually a really strong performer. You've got a really powerful presence in the world. And I didn't really know, what does that mean? You've got a powerful presence in the world. I'm just Weaver, working class, Kevin Weaver. Dad works for the railway, mum works for haberdashers, two boring sisters, lives on a council estate, and dad grows roses in the garden. So he put me up for an award, a Romeo. So I did Romeo's soliloquy. So I'll give you a bit of it now. Oh, my love, my wife, death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. beauty's ensign, yet there is crimson in thy lips and cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. So I stood up on stage in Maidstone in Kent. It was a big hall in front of thousands of people, all the other contestants eagerly thinking, oh, God, he's a bit good. I could see them thinking, I'm not going to win. This geezer's going to win. And I won this fucking enormous cup. It was nearly as big as me. And they gave it to me for a year. It's got like Kevin Michael Weaver written on it. Hudson Cup winner, Romeo Soliloquy, something like 1947. I can't remember how old I am. So from that moment on, I was determined to perform. And then I carried on doing that. I was Mephistopheles in Dr. Faustus.
Mm-hmm.
I did a great bit of work, an Italian Dario Fo called The Accidental Death of an Anarchist, which is a great play, completely bonkers, about some bent coppers. And then my dad said, Kevin, you've got to go and get a job. You're not going to go to university. I got 2 O-levels, 3 O-levels. So I went and worked in the insurance business, and I thought, I fucking love this. I'm making loads of money, and I'm being paid well. I'm being treated, a 3-piece suit. You know, it was a bit, but I was full of shit. And I kind of I thought, my integrity is disappearing here. So when I went to work, in the lunch times, I'd be reading, I read Tolstoy and Solzhenitsyn, just again, getting all this stuff on board, bringing art books into the insurance office. People were going, what are you doing there? What? Have a scotch. Go and have a fag. No, I want to read and I want to look at art. And it took me 10 years to realise, actually, I hate the insurance business. I hate the fact that I was paid to get out of things as cheaply as possible. And I was writing every day. I started just reflecting back on my life. And I began to notice things in the world, kind of things that fascinated me, objects that were in certain relationships, or I kind of, that could go with that. Or if I write about it like that, it will change the way that it is.
So it sounds like you had a pretty firm sense of how you got to where you were.
Yeah.
How the surrounding world of where you are right now is, and your relationship to it.
Yeah.
And then I'm presuming a strong sense of where you wanted to be as well.
Yeah, I think I knew very, very quickly that I wanted to be an artist of some kind. I wanted to bring things into the world that didn't exist. And I wanted to bring things into the world not in a pretentious way. I didn't want to invent things that had no relationship with me. Some artwork I find, I use the word pretentious. It's like it's trying to be something that it isn't. I can't abide that, and I can spot it a mile off. It's a bit like people that write derivatively. They don't realise that their writing is exactly like Irving Welsh or whatever it is. And for me, what's important is that sense of, when I write, I hear what I write in my head. And yes, of course, it's an amalgamation of all the things that I've taken in or seen over the years. But I know when I write, I hear it in my head first before it goes onto a page. So there was that sense of, okay, well, what can I do? I know I can perform. I've been told that I'm good. I won a cup. Other people said I was good at what I do. And then I met a woman and I fell in love, and she said, go to Dartington Hall. You'll love it. They'll allow you, they'll encourage you to make work, to be a performer, to be an artist. And they weren't wrong. It was fabulous. On my first day, my writing tutor said,